Alright, what's going on, guys? It's been a minute.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
But I'm back at it with another video. This time, it's like a Bridget matchup tier list. From her most winning matchups to even losing and the ones that I don't know. Been playing her for about almost 3 months now. I played her since Frosty was when I picked her up, right after. But yeah, I'm trying to get back to being Omega Ultra consistent content lord. So I'm gonna try to stream every day until Combo Breaker. Even if it's like a little short one, I'm gonna try and stream. Bait Twitter put May in her own tier. That's not even bait. That's just facts. So now we're gonna be talking about her matchups, and we're gonna try and go into them each a little bit. Let's start with a winning matchup. I think Anji, pretty simple matchup to win as Bridget. The more I've played it, it's actually not too hard because of Bridget. The thing is, a lot of her matchups, she gets to abuse like her backdash speed and her good jump arc. Like Anji has really good anti-air. The thing is, Bridget has really good like stalling potential in the air. So if you can like time them and catch their anti-airs and stuff like that, or you can just choose to not jump and fake out and move back. And then having 214S, the yo-yo set, also like kind of deletes Anji. And Scooter as well is really good against spin. Like a lot of her tools are just really good at beating spin as well. So it makes it very hard for him to fight her. And I played a lot of really good Anjis. I played an Anji at EVO Japan. He was really good. He's the Anji who beat Ramala in winners and losers, I think. And yeah, I ended up beating that guy pretty bad. But he was really good. I think she beats Sin. Sin, not too great, honestly. He has a lot of really good tools. Like he has like Elcon and like his DP is actually really good against her as well because it's huge. But having like slower normals and a bit slower paced movement doesn't allow him really to keep up with Bridget. And she can safe jump like she can just like repeatedly loop safe jumps against him. So his defense gets pretty weak. Nago. I think Nago is even. I thought I was winning. I thought I was winning for a bit, but it's a bit weird. Like, he's good. He's pretty good against her in like all phases of the game. Like when he has like no blood, when he hasn't spent any blood, when he spent some blood, and when he spent like all his blood, he's in level 3. He's pretty good against her. Like his defense is really strong. But yeah, another thing too about Nago is besides him being able to like keep up, at a certain point when he can't, there's a point where he has to commit to a jump or a Fukio forward when he has very little blood to avoid dealing with 214S. Because then otherwise you get pretty free mix-up against him and free pressure. And then you get to just kind of just kill him off that. But he does have pretty good defensive maneuvers against Bridget. So it's pretty strong. And then him also, he also has a lot of health, so that helps. So if they're a bit smarter, they can stay behind like 3 blood and then they don't take as much damage from Bridget. But if they're like permanent 3 blood, if you hit them, your mix-up just nukes them, so they just die. I don't think that's not a thing a lot of Nago players think about. Goldlewis? Dude, Goldlewis, I think Bridget. I've heard from many a Goldlewis player that they hate this matchup. I've played it a bit, too. It doesn't seem fun for the Goldlewis. Like, she just controls him in neutral super hard, and his anti-air is like kinda like not great against her. And she gets to fucking do whatever she wants against Goldlewis. It's actually pretty high matchup for Bridget. Even though he has a lot of health, like his defense against her is not good. It's so hard because his movement's so bad and his jump is really bad. He just gets deleted. It's crazy. I think she beats Pot as well. This is not like a shocker. Like Pot, he can't really abuse armor that well against her because she has a lot of multi-hitting normal. Well, she has 2 multi-hitting normals, but 2S is really good against the moving armored move. And then like it's really easy to anti-air him. You're almost never on the ground, so like Slight Head's not that great against her anyway. 214S is pretty hard for him to deal with. You can punish him for trying to flick 214S as well with like 5H, 5S as well. So you can play a really good spacing game. It's pretty hard for him to whiff finish you as well. So I think that's not a very contestable matchup. I think she wins pretty hard. I think Baiken is even. I thought Bridget won for a little bit while I was learning her in the beginning, but I think now it's kind of even. Like I played against some Japanese players when I was in Japan, and a lot of them were telling me that they think Baiken wins, but they couldn't really tell me why. They were just like, the vibes are Baiken wins, basically. It was kind of just like, yeah, we win, pretty much. When I played all of them, and I went even with them. And these like dudes have been playing Baiken since she came out, so like, I don't know. I thought Bridget won, but I think it's even, because you know like she can weigh yo-yo. She can her like buttons in neutral can be pretty strong. Like Far Slash is really good. Kabari at a certain range is really good. She can deal with Bridget in the air pretty well. I think Baiken has pretty good air-to-airs. Like JS, JD. Like TK Zansen's a pretty good anti-air if I'm like floating above you as well. And then like you also have like the parry, right? That you can like weigh in on Oki as well. And then the fact that Bridget has low health is a big thing in these matchups that are even. Because you could be losing the whole game, and then you get one hit and I get nuked. Like that's a big thing about a lot of Bridget's matchups. It's like she can win, but then if she gets hit once in the wrong way, she just explodes. I think this is not another crazy opinion. It's pretty standard, to be honest. Like, I think, like, Bridget's speed is something that Zato has a lot of trouble dealing with. She has a lot of ways to kill Eddie, but the Zato player can, the Zato player can do a lot of things to, like, avoid getting Eddie killed and, like, saving him. So, I do think she has a bit of an edge in terms of, like, certain, like, minigames they can play neutral, but it's just as easily, like, it can go just as easy for the Zato player. Like, this is kind of a matchup where it's like, it feels like whoever gets the first hit's probably gonna win, and then whoever makes a really, really good read on defense is gonna win from there too. Because they're both similar type characters, right? Where my neutral is a bit more, like, faster and degenerate. His is a little slower and, like, trying to, like, trap you and, like, overwhelm you, whereas, like, mine's really fast and overwhelming. So, I think it's winning overall, though, because, like, my farther reaching normals and better anti-air can, like, stop him from trying to get a lot of cheeky stuff done. And honestly, setting up with Bridget's a lot easier than it is setting up with Zato. But they're both pretty similar characters. I think Bridget beats Testament as well. I think she also beats Testament. She has a lot of, like, little tools, a lot of little matchup things you can do. Like, you can throw 236 Fireball, 236S over Testament's Fireball, and then if that goes through, right, and you don't block anything, you can roll over Testament's Fireball and get a punish. So if you see Testament Fireball, you can roll the Fireball, hit JH or like JP, and then punish. It'll like get counter hit, and then you can hit them. I played a lot with Ramallah when I was in Japan, and I felt like, I don't know, I felt like the match was pretty in my favor overall. Like just character wise, I feel like the matchup was pretty like favored toward me. And then like Testament does have really good anti-air, but they're really committal, like 6P and stuff like that. So it feels super committal. So definitely way easier. And Testament, getting a lot of the, you can avoid a lot of Testament's angles pretty hard, because they'll play into like far slash gameplay and stuff like that, and you can kill them for doing that pretty easily with your own far slash 2S 2P. You far reaching 5P is really good in this matchup as well. The more I play Bridget, the more I realize the value 5P has, but it's a really hard button to use because you have to be so early with it. I think Chipp kind of collapsed Bridget, to be honest. Like, this matchup, dude, it's so, like... So, a lot of her normals are, like, pretty slow, and her dash speed and stuff like that is, like, not very fast either. So, and her anti-airs are very committal and slow. So, the thing is, Chipp has a really good jump arc, he has really good dash speed, his buttons go not as far as me, but the thing is, you have to remember, they're always gonna dash install their buttons. They're gonna do dash into button, right? So it's pretty wild. And it's just really hard to deal with Chipp Rusher as Bridget. Like dealing with Chipp running in your face or like hitting far slash, him running up 6P is like, it's pretty insane to deal with, honestly. It's really, really hard. And the damage difference is like crazy. Like I can do a lot of damage to Chipp, but it's like so conditional where like most of the time where I'm getting hit, I'm like trying to check his dash, or I'm like hitting a button, or trying to do like a roll thing and he counter hits me, and then I get nuked for like 40% off of like a jab or something, right? Or like a 6P. It's pretty wild. So yeah, it's just a matchup of like speed. You're just getting like so overwhelmed, you can't really deal with him that well. I think Millia also beats Bridget. Millia, very similar thing to Chipp, where you can't really, it's really hard to anti-air her, and her buttons on the ground and dash speed on the ground are like really good against you. But the thing is, her jump arc and like the way she can alter her jump arc and stuff like that, it's so hard to anti-air her. And then the other thing too is Millia does so much damage, dude. She does so much damage, especially to Bridget. So like you hit a mix-up and then you get nuked. It's crazy. So like that, you really feel like the health, like the lack of guts and stuff like that compared to other characters as Bridget when you get hit. It's insane how much damage you take sometimes. But another, yeah, like very similar character, similar character to Bridget, where like you get the hit, get your knockdown, you mix up. Except her mix-ups aren't like looping without meter, so it's not as bad. But the one hit does so much damage to you, and she gets to jump for free all over Bridget. It's actually super annoying. Okay, and then another one we could do Ram. The thing about Ram is like she's a character with far-reaching normals, farther reaching than mine, high reward off those normals, higher than mine. Good jump arc, good air option, good anti-air, and good confirmation off every normal. And the thing is, every normal is an anti-air. And against Bridget, that's so fucking broken because I get anti-aired on accident so often by Ram. The other thing too is like, Bridget likes to play this minigame in certain matchups where like, or at certain points in neutral where like, you have the yo-yo out or you have 2-1-4S out, and you like to roll instant JH because you can't anti-air that. But Ram's answer to that is just running up, mashing 5H. It's crazy. Because the thing is, they only have to be right once, because when it hits, you take the freest 60% of their life. You just die. It's actually crazy. So it's just another like reward diff matchup where you just die for trying to play your game and they guess right. So like you could be winning the match for like 80 seconds and then like they just die. They hit you and they just die. I think Chaos is losing as well. This is another matchup where they legit don't need to do anything. And there's no need for them to press any other buttons than like 5K, 2K, and 2S. Those are the only buttons you need in this matchup. You actually don't need any other button. Because 5K will beat both of my K normals, and then 2K will go under far slash, 5P, 5H, and then it'll also beat 2P for fun. So it's like, when my buttons don't work at any range, it's fucking crazy. And then, if they're like playing numbers, right, as Chaos, and they choose to hit far slash on defense, like Keishu's saying, you just die. They just auto-confirm into fucking gunshot and you die. You just take so much damage. Because you're lightweight to get a fucking combo video on you. Oh, and then, not to mention, like, Bridget's options when she's in curse are insane. You can't do anything. They shoot you, they put curse on you, they're full screen, they focus up, they shoot you again, the guard broke you, they focus up again, now they're at full focus, and now you can't do anything and you're cursed, and they just loop the curse again. So it's like, fuck, what do I do? Like, her options against curse, while she's cursed, are not great. Yeah, and then it's just like, the damage disparity is pretty crazy. Like, he doesn't have that much health, but the hits where you get to do damage to him are so conditional. So yeah, like, neutral just is not in my favor a lot of time. Like, it's very, like, preemptive, I feel like, on Bridget's part, and that's pretty good for HC, because if you're playing preemptive against HC, which he forces a lot of characters to, it's like he gets to set up a lot of stuff, and he gets to like play the numbers game and kill you for it. I low-key think Leo Bridget is even. I'm not gonna lie. It's very hard to play. I think it's actually like pretty hard to play to make it even, but like if you're good enough, you should be able to beat the Leo. Is what I've learned over the last like 2-3 months of me playing this character. Like it feels very like winnable always. Like when you lose, when I've lost to Leos on Bridget recently, it's like I see why I lost. And then when I beat Leos, right? Like when I played Gesui in Japan, I knew what to do. And I was like, I'm only gonna lose if I fuck up. And then I didn't lose because I didn't fuck up. So like it's stuff like that. And I played like other Leo players too, and I've been doing pretty well recently. So it feels really even, but it's in neutral when he gets close, it's kind of like a Chipp situation where like his normals, the frame data on his normals when he's like close to you on block is fucking crazy. So you have to have really good IBs and really good defense to be able to mitigate those things. And if you don't or you mess up, you're gonna die. So you're like your IB has to be on point on like 6k. Your back turn defense has to be good. You have to be very patient against his front turn and not take all the baits. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, you have to be willing to mash and like take risks. So like her 5-frame 2k is actually really good against Leo. Like it's pretty good for whiff punishing him, to be honest. Like you can check his dash really well, surprisingly. And then like she has really good options against really good options against back turn, or not back turn, like guard stance and stuff like that. So she can like check it really far with like 2S. You get full combo off that. Like she's really good option. I think another even one is Axl. I thought for a little bit this matchup was losing. I almost want to say it's winning, but it just feels even. It's because like Axl has really good anti-airs against Bridget, right? He has good air game. He has good ground game, good anti-air game, right? Generally, and a lot of Bridget's like options are like pretty slow, so you can like auto check it with like 5P or like stuff like that. But where Bridget shines is she has like I mentioned earlier, like ways to stall her air momentum and like punish his anti-air, his committal anti-air options, stuff like that. So that's pretty good. Having the 5-frame 2k against Axl also pretty goated. But the other thing too is like when Axl hits you like off any hit or he spends meter on any hit, his damage on you is insane. One, because they buffed Axl to do 1 billion damage this version. Two, because Bridget has no health, right? So, but I do think this matchup's pretty even. I think even though she's like zoning the shit out of you for like, or he's zoning the shit out of you for like 80% of the match, when you eventually get that hit, it's not too bad. It's also not too bad in the first place to like get that hit, I think. You know, I think it's not too bad. But that's just my opinion. But the damage he gets on like the single hit that matters evens up the game really hard. I'm just gonna put Bedman here. Still haven't played a lot of Bedman. I gotta do that. I think Bridget beats Soul, but it feels like Bridget beats Soul, honestly. Like a lot of his like movement and stuff like that is like really good, but the having yo-yo and having like my K buttons and good ways to like check him on the ground. Like Bridget's anti-air against Soul, pretty good in general, and I think Bridget has pretty good options to deal with him on the ground as well with like far slashes. Her P normals are really good. My K normals are really good, and like 2 and 4S just being like safe in general against most of the cast as like a cancel option from pretty close range is also pretty good. And then like I said, you can just like loop safe jumping Oki against Soul, just like punish him, and you can do like real damage to him on that kind of stuff. So I think the matchup not too bad. But of course, I mean, he's Soul, so like if you mess up, you're gonna die, right? Like Bridget has no health. This is a combo video character, you're gonna get nuked. So okay, this one, I think based on what I've played and what I saw, I played so many Jacko players in Japan, and dude, I hadn't played this matchup, but then I watched like Huchu and I watched like Ru play it a little bit, and then I was like, okay. So then I played all these JP players, and I had to play this one JP player in Evo Japan, like out of pools, and I don't remember his name, but he was fucking ridiculous. Every JP Jacko player I played was like on crack. They were so fucking good, but I still beat them all. I think Bridget has pretty good ways to deal with minions, right? And then also, I also think Bridget has really good buttons on the ground to deal with Jacko. That being said, I think Bridget might struggle a little bit anti-airing Jacko at times, But that's nothing a good air throw can't fix or a good run under setup yo-yo, right? But generally, I think she deals with minions very well, and I mean, dude, her air-to-air game against Jacko is also really, really good. But her ground anti-air game, maybe against Jacko, is not the best. But I think overall, you can deal with Jacko pretty well in neutral. It's just about how well you can keep up with the pace, I think, of the character. And then, like, Jacko doesn't do, like, crazy damage on, like, average hits to Bridget, so that also helps. That shit is trash. I agree. Yeah. Because, like, your hits do less damage than mine. On average, I would say Nitro. What about Geo? Geo, honestly, I think, dude, it's like almost even to losing. It feels like not that bad, but it's so winnable. You know? Like, these matchups feel fucking unwinnable at a certain point. But like every time I fought Geo, it doesn't feel that bad. And I played like really, really good Geo players. I played like TY a little bit too when I was in Japan, and I didn't do horrible against him at all. So I was like, I didn't know what to think of the matchup. It's one of those where I'm not too sure, but I can tell Bridget is probably supposed to lose, and there's probably a lot of things I can do better to beat my character. But I think for now, it's like a slight lose. I also think in slight lose, I will put Faust. A very sad L to take. I think, oh, look at this guy. Vineet shows up the moment I start talking about Faust. I know you've been in here waiting. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Ultra rare. No, dude. Faust is so broken this version. Vineet won't say it on stream, but his character is fucking broken. Okay, so for Faust, the thing about Faust, why I think this matchup's kind of ugly, is my S and H normals don't have that much of an effect in neutral against Faust, and he has pretty good whiff punish on Bridget in general, and like his crawl is very, very strong for a lot of reasons in this matchup. He deals with yo-yo very well. J2K is almost impossible for Bridget to deal with. What else? I think Faust deals with Scooter very well as well. Faust anti-air, goated against Bridget, a character that's supposed to be in the air all the time. You love to see it. No, bro. And then Kyle, I think Kai is even. This also feels like another matchup where it's a little bit harder to play, but it just feels like a skill matchup. Like, it feels like if you're good enough, you can win, but if you're not on your shit, you'll lose, right? Like, if you're just playing, like, not well, you're gonna lose this for sure. I do think the neutral is a bit Kai favored, and his defense is pretty brain dead against Bridget. But that being said, there's answers to all of it, and you can beat it. You can force a different playstyle out of it. So, it's pretty hard. But the one thing I will say is a lot of the even matchups, you can win as Bridget for like 80% of the match, and they land a 5k, and you fucking get nuked for 60. Why do I get nuked for 60% off of a K button in all of these matchups? Except maybe Baiken. It's crazy. I'm playing against a JP Kai player, right? And he presses 5k in neutral. It hits me. He does like 6H. I'm near the corner. He does a whole combo video to me, and I took 60% into wall break. And I'm like, dude, what happened? I was winning. I think Mei wins. I think Mei beats Bridget, and it's not close. Because the thing is, one, it's hard as fuck to anti-air Mei. Two, Mei has a goated 5k against anything that I want to do. So if she thinks I'm going to backdash, hit 5k. Am I going to hit a button? Hit 5k. Am I going to breathe, plug in my controller, hit 5k? 5k, 6H, Dolphin confirm, 70% goodbye, wall break, you fucking lost the game, right? It's fucking crazy. And then Mei has goated defense against Bridget. I'm gonna stop talking there because fuck Baiken players. I'm not gonna tell them shit. I will say Bridget has like decent Dolphin RPS against Mei. I think Bridget beats Ino. It's a bit of a weird matchup. It takes a little bit of practice, I think. But I played against pretty good JP Inos. Played against Daru a little bit. Wasn't doing too bad. Yeah, this matchup just feels pretty good for Bridget. Like, She has HCL, and HCL deals with a lot of things Bridget wants to do very well. But surprisingly, Bridget can check her dash pretty easily with 5k dash buffer and still be plus off of air blocking it. And then like dealing with stroke and stuff like that, RPS on your own defense is actually like pretty brain dead. It's not too hard. I found through labbing, so it's not that bad. And then your anti-airs against are, it's mostly air to airs, to be honest. Like a quick air to air JH or like JK or something are pretty good. And then like you can beat 6P pretty easily with a lot of air stalling and with like roll and like Roger throwing yo-yo, stuff like that. So things pretty good. So this is the matchup tier list, or the matchup chart. This is it. Any questions, comments, concerns? Not a bad chart. No, I know it's perfect. It's accurate.